Good evening, everybody, and welcome to an XCL stream. Straight off the bat, I'm just going to acknowledge that we were meant to be having a 60-car multi-class race today with 30 GT3 and 30 GT4, but unfortunately, yeah, it was always going to be a bit of a test. We were always going to be testing the kind of capacity of the server, and we've realised and we found out that the maximum cars you can have on a track at any given time with the the Xbox servers are 43. So yeah, we've reached the peak of what we can do. So I'm sure in the future we'll do more 40-car races and maybe do like some multi-class races with maybe 20 GT3 and 20 GT4 instead of 30 and 30. So yeah, a bit disappointing that we don't get to see that big 60-car race that we were all hoping for. I know everyone was super excited about it. There was a lot of buzz around the ACC world about kind of XCL pushing the boundaries, but yeah, unfortunately we have found the limit, which is just over 40 cars. But it's good in a way. But we're still streaming tonight, so we do have two broadcasts happening. So over currently on the Dick Trickle Racing Network, we have a 30-car GT3 race going on, and then, as you can probably have guessed, here at the Red Fox Broadcasting Network, we have a 30-car GT4 race. Now, I've just started qualifying here, and I think we have 28 drivers in total. So that's not a bad turnout. I mean, obviously that means if we were going to try that 60-car race, it means the maximum we probably had anywhere was 58. But I'm just riding here with the driver that got out of the pits first in wet wipe, and we will run you through this 50-minute qualifying. It is an hour race today, so we are going to have one mandatory pit stop in the hour. Like I said, every car here is a GT4 car, and they're also all rookies, which means that all the drivers here do have a rating of 1,999 or less. As I see, yeah, Festerman in the chat is just saying good turnout tonight. Yeah, so it is a good turnout. I mean, technically, if you count the 30 drivers or so, there's probably like between 25 and 30 over in the GT3 race right now. We probably would have had way in excess of 50 drivers. So, I mean, just a shout out to XCL for arranging this anyway, because to get 50 guys all around the world on Xbox, all racing at the same time, it's a fantastic achievement. So that has to have a nod out there to the admins here that just do a great job. But yeah, good turnout tonight. I'm really excited for this 28 car race. We don't really see a lot of GT4 racing, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of ability these guys are going to show today. I mean, they are all rookie drivers, like I said, so we will see probably a few spills, a few crashes. But that's the whole point of this class, is for you to sort of practice your practice your wares, just learn about racing in a competitive field. And then, everyone's here is aiming to move up the XCL leaderboard in regards to their performance ratings. And as soon as they hit 2,000 points, they get across to the bronze division, which is where it starts getting a bit more competitive. We do have a lot of multi-class races throughout the week where both bronze and rookie drivers race together, but yeah, today it is just rookies and it is just GT4 cars, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We have some fantastic drivers out there, because actually a few of the drivers that have joined in today are drivers that are obviously of a very high standard, but they just have to go through the steps. So there are a few drivers out there that I'll try and pick up. Well, I'm sure as you see the times pour in. But yeah, we do have one honourable mention with us today is Kyle Williams, 55. Now, anyone that watched the Laguna Seca stream last week would know that Kyle Williams just came onto the scene. He beat everyone by a substantial margin. He has fantastic pace. He made Cozy Lerner look slow, and that's saying something. And today I fully expect Kyle Williams to dominate and probably be somewhere near the front. I mean, obviously, because he's fast on a GT3 car doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be fast on a GT4 car, but well, only time will tell. As we're just so we're just riding with wet wipe here as he comes around to potentially set the first lap of the day. I'm fully expecting the pole position time in the GT4 cars to be in the low 33s, maybe even, I think, if you want to get pole with the kind of caliber we have out here, it'll probably be in the 32s. But let's see what time Wet Wipe can set to start the day off. Yeah, a 2:33.8. So a 2:33.8 is a good qualifying time. I do know some of the drivers out there will be able to set times, like I said, in the low 33s. I haven't seen anyone hit the 32s yet, but I'm pretty sure with an optimum track conditions, we will see that. As is it Black Cowboys? He goes to second place with 3 seconds down from there. So let's see some other drivers. I've got a lot of drivers to try and get through here. I mean, in qualifying, I'll just try and stick with a few drivers, and then I see as the race goes on, I will try and do some more coverage here. But yeah, Hush Webb is one of the next drivers. It looks like he's on a clean lap. Let's see what kind of time he can pop up with Mark Music setting time just about 2 seconds off the pace. So yeah, Hush Webb goes for 3.7 seconds down. Some of the other cars coming through at the minute is the number 118, so the Seapel. I think in practice earlier today, he was actually quite a fast driver. So let's see what time he can set initially as he just crosses the line now, and he will set so he's 3 seconds off the pace as well. So I think a lot of these drivers are just setting their initial kind of, just getting a banker lap in. Now, Jarno, I had the privilege of practicing with him for about 2 hours on Sunday, and myself and Jarno, we ran through the Cayman setups. We were just going around and around and around the circuit, and at the time when we were practicing, he did set a 2:33.1, so it is nice to see him set the same sort of pace he was setting during that practice period. And I think Jarno might be one of the drivers to watch today. He does have I think his father races in the series as well. His name is Naf. I don't know if he is in this class today or if he's in the upper class, but yeah, watch Jarno today. I do think he's going to have some good pace, and with that early lap of a 2:33.1, I fully expect him to maybe be one of the drivers that is going to break into that 2:32 barrier. So let's see, we have the number 4 car coming around. That's Wet Wipe again. Let's start with someone different. I'm just going to see if we've got the number 242 is on a hot lap at the minute, so we'll ride with him for a second. I'm going to say Saedo is his name, but I'm just going to ride with him and check it on the chat, what we're saying at the minute. So I've got quite a few people in here at the minute. So Hendricks is saying, Hendricks is saying that he actually wanted to get a spot and he couldn't get in. So so there are probably more than 60 drivers that wanted to race today, which is it's a fantastic effort by XCL. I can't even pronounce your name, but it's like Race Recipiator. I don't really know how you pronounce your name. I apologise, but you're saying that you're going to miss the next couple of races. I'm sure you're probably gutted about that. And Tony is saying, I am going 31.9 for pole. Okay, so you're saying Carl Williams is going to get a 31.9. That is a bold prediction there, Tony. So let's wait and see what happens. So we're just riding with Saedo now. I don't know if he's defaulted that lap, but he is coming across the line now. So does he set a first representative time of the day? No, it looks like he defaulted, so he's probably going to have to go around again. But the man of the moment, like we said, is Kyle Williams. It does look like he's on a fast lap at the minute. That is a lovely looking yellow and red Porsche there. I'm admiring those colours. But just come around the last couple of corners now. So let's see if he does set an initial time. Tony is saying he's going to get a 31.9. I don't know if he knows more than me, but let's see if he can get a time here. So he's crossing the line now. Does he set a time? Yeah, 32.4. So as I predicted, 32 would probably be where the pole position time is. But he's got 0.5 of a second he needs to make up if Tony's prediction of a 31.9 is to come true. But that's a fantastic lap by Kyle Williams. As I expected, like I said, he is just a cut above the rest in so many ways. His pace is unreal. And I think I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if we see him lead from start to finish today. But there's still plenty of time in qualifying. 5 minutes to go. There's also only half the field have set a time, so we've got a lot of people still to go around here. I'm just going to see who's coming around to potentially set a lap. We have number I think 720 is on a fast lap at the minute. So Danya Zaitsev has not set a time yet, but he is coming around to the last corner now. So let's see if he can get himself up there. I think in practice he was actually the fastest driver out there, but that doesn't actually, as I say that, Backshaw has split Williams and Jarno and made it up to second place. And as Zaitsev crosses the line, whoa, okay, that is a fast time there. So he sets also a 2:32. That's a 0.507. So yeah, great time there by Danya Zaitsev. Actually, he ran his debut at Paul Ricard, I believe it was, or it might have been Paul Ricard, or it might have been another track, I apologise, but yeah, he ran it over the weekend, and he actually, on his debut for XCL, got a podium, and he's looking pretty racy out there today. He did say he fancied the McLaren, and he's, actually, is he the only McLaren driver out there? Oh no, there's one more McLaren driver in Funky Krusty Man. So, yeah, so watch out for Zaitsev. He might actually end up challenging Kyle Williams here. So let's see who else we've got out there. I'm just going to see if any of these drivers around on the pits are... Well, let's have a ride with Taya Manon. That is a interesting looking KTM car there. That is a completely different style car to the rest of the GT4s out there. I do like that though. He has, well, he didn't set a time on that last lap, so this is going to, well, he's not running out of time, but he is going to have to try and set a time in the next couple of minutes. But let me just walk you through your top 10 as it stands. Yeah, so Kyle Williams is out there with a 2:32.4. Followed by Daniel Zaitsev, who is, yeah, 0.067 down. Backshaw creeped in there to push Jarno down to the second row with himself, and that is with a 0.4 and a 0.6. We'll say Al Messi, we'll call him Messi for today. Messi is in 5th place behind Joe Knows, 1.3 seconds down. So there's only 5 cars currently within a second. Oh, as I'm looking here, and yeah, he's hit the wall there, so I don't know if he's going to get a chance to come back out. Let's just ride with, let's have a look, ride with Funky Krusty Man, the other McLaren driver. Yeah, so Wet Wipe and Gary the Goat in 2 Porsches are currently 7th and 8th, about 1.3 1.5 down on the pole lap, and then Fast Forward and Stein Acrobat are yeah, mate, round up the top 10. There's still plenty of time out there, like I said, to make some times and get some times on the board. I'm just keeping an eye on some of the drivers coming around, if they are some of the drivers that haven't set a time. Yeah, okay, yeah, so Arne Ulfason, I probably murdered his name there. We'll just call him Arnie. He's yeah, he's come around the last few corners now in the Alpine, and he hasn't actually set a time yet, but he is on a hot lap. So let's see what sort of time he can set and where he's going to put himself in the field today. Did he cross the line there? Yeah, so he goes 22nd place, 12 seconds off the pace. So that was probably just a banker lap. He'll go around now and set a better time, I'm sure. Who else do we have out there that hasn't set a time yet that is coming around? I'm not sure yet, but let's just ride with MCR, or MRC, sorry. And he has got a nice blue BMW there, and he is, yeah, coming around sort of the back end of the circuit now. He hasn't set a time yet, but hopefully, if I just ride with the number 77 car quickly, I can see. No, he isn't actually on a lap currently, but we'll just stay with Farrell now and see what see if he can improve on 19th place. Good evening, Dittatore. I don't know if you're racing today or whether you're over with the GT3 guys, but yeah, nice to have you on stream. Yeah, so as we look at Farrell now, he is coming around the last couple of bends. There is still 1 minute 50 to go, so if he is going to set another time, it will be his last opportunity, because when he crosses the line again, it will be the end of qualifying. I'll just go back up to the front, and as we say this, Daniel Zaitsev has set the current pole position time with a 2:32.1. So if Carl Williams is to get pole today, he may well have to get down into those the 2:31s that Dave predicted, also Tony predicted, not Dave. And there is now only 4 cars that are currently within a second of that time. So who else have we got out there at the minute that's looking like they could potentially set a lap? Yeah, so we have Nent that's about to cross the line now, and he takes himself up to 10th place. That's a great little lap time there by him. We've got 59 seconds left, so some of the cars coming around now will actually be on their last laps. There is quite a few guys in the pits, so I am thinking, yeah, Saedo isn't going to have an opportunity to set a time today, so he is going to be on the back of the grid along with MRC. Funky Krusty Man is out there currently. I'm just going to run with the car 999 Diabolic. Yeah, so the number 95 car isn't actually on a lap yet. I don't know if he's going to be able to get round with only 32 seconds to go. Funky Krusty Man's going to have to really push this on this last part of the circuit if he is going to get across the line. I'm just going to ride with him now, like I said, because there is 22 seconds now, and he's yeah, just got a couple more corners to go. But I don't know if this GT4 car has got enough pace to make it that in that much time. I think he's going to lose out here, and he may end up being the man that's going to start last in this race. and then we'll ride with the cars as they come across the line, and we'll have a look and see what kind of times we can get here. So there's 2 seconds left. Oh, that's unfortunate, but yeah, Funky Krusty Man is going to lose out there, and he isn't going to be able to set a time. So we just have Diabolic, like I said, coming across the line now. He is currently P14. He is on a hot lap, and in his last qualifying session of the day, he moves himself up to 11th place. Next coming down the track is the number 14 car. Let's see if we can find them. Is it the number 14 car? Yeah, I don't know if I'm just being number blind. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it is Cowboys. So Cowboys is the next car coming across the line with number 5 behind him. I'll get that one prepped up. Yes, so that is Gary the Goat second. So Black Cowboys is coming along the line now. He is currently P20. Can he improve on that time? As he crosses the line, he goes P18. Gary the Goat is now also crossing the line. He's currently 8th place, and on his final lap time, he stays 8th. The number 4 of Wet Wipe is coming around now. He is currently P7. Can he get himself up to the 3rd, 2nd or 1st row on the grid as he crosses the line? The answer is no. He stays P7. The next car coming up on the final lap is number 97. I'm just trying to find that now. Okay, yeah, that is, well, I think it's Fuchs is his name. F-U-C-H-S, Fuchs. That's what we're going to go with, or Nent. Well, we'll have to work out what some of these guys want to be called. But, yeah, as he comes across the line, he is currently P10. Can he improve on that 10th position? We'll find out shortly. And he stays P10. So it looks like not a lot of people out there are improving at the minute. So we have the number 89 car coming around next. It is worth noting that unless one of these last cars can beat that time, Daniel Zaitsev has beaten Carl Williams in the GT4 class to pole position currently. But we do have the 89 car of Stein coming around, followed by the 56 car of Joe Knows. So we'll keep an eye on these two. Yeah, so Stein is got a couple of corners to go. I don't know if he's just defaulted there coming out wide, but we'll find out as he hits the line. Yeah, so he's currently 12th. 2 corners to go. Joe Knows is hustling right behind him here. But as Stein comes up to the line, he is currently 12th, and he finishes... Oh, I missed that one. Yeah, the Musk guy must have been done. Yeah, so he went up to 9th place. And as Joe Knows, also qualified up to 5th. So as we go back to the waiting screen for the start of the race, which is normally a 2-minute waiting screen, I will go over that qualifying time. That was quite an intense, fast qualifying. There was only 4 drivers that did manage to get within a second of the pole lap. And I did say that a 32 would probably be where the pole position time is, and I'm pleased with my prediction. Tony, I think you probably knew Carl Williams had that 31 in him, and who knows, maybe in the race he might get down into the 31s, but yeah, with a 60-minute race and the fuel loads and tyre wear, it's going to be quite hard for anyone to probably consistently get into the 32s. I think the race pace of today will probably be 33/34. But yeah, we'll go through the full grid. We're going to have quite a long out lap, or formation lap, sorry, because it is a at race pace. It's a 2.5 minute lap, and yeah, obviously, as you know, they trawl around at a very slow speed. So yeah, yeah, we have 1 minute and 53 seconds to go before the start of the race. I'll just take this opportunity to check in with the Twitch stream. So yeah, Levi Racing is saying hi all. So hello Levi, welcome to the stream. Thank you for keeping me company. With the people that are watching right now, I do have to commentate solo on this for 60 minutes. So yeah, if you want to just keep me entertained and keep chatting, I need your help more than ever today, because this is a long race and I am by myself. So thank you all for stopping by and saying hello. Yeah, Tony is just saying, well done, Dana, for that great lap. It was a fantastic lap, but it is a long race. And, yeah, I anticipate just fatigue. There is going to be a lot of mistakes out there. Dittatore says, for me, Suzuka Wednesday, tonight he's working. Yeah, so I don't know if the rookie class is at 7:30, but I know potentially, if I am streaming on Wednesday, it'll be for the 9:30 race. I'm not sure if that's the rookies at 9:30, whether that's whether it's the bronzes at 9:30, but yeah, if you can let me know, Torre. But I love Suzuka; it's a fantastic track. yeah, just whilst I mention, so whilst we're waiting for these cars to get ready to go, there is currently a GT3 race going on the Dick Trickle Racing Network. So we were meant to have a 60-car race today. We did, if you're just stopping in, yeah, we did attempt it, but we realised that you can only have the 43-car max. That is the server limits. You can't go past 43. The game can't handle it on the Xbox. Yeah, so we've split the two grids. So if you want to, if you're looking for where the GT3 cars are, or one of your fellow drivers are on the GT3, they are over on the Dick Trickle Network, Racing Network, racing in the GT3 right now. And yeah, if you are here to stay with me for the next hour, yeah, please feel free to chat. I will answer the group as best I can. And yeah, we're here with the GT4 cars for a fantastic 1-hour race around Spa. So yeah, we'll wait for everyone to get off the grid, and then we'll introduce our lineup for today, and I'll just make sure we haven't had any dropouts here. So we have still got, we got 27 now. I don't know if that means, I think we did have 28, so we might have had one dashboard. We normally have one every race. That's just the way it goes, unfortunately. AMS, Dylan, I will get back to you, and Dylan, if you just let me introduce the drivers, and Dylan, I will answer that question shortly. I'll go through the lineup, and then I'll come back to Twitch in a second, okay, guys? So yeah, so our lineup for today, we did, well, actually, I went out and I straight away said I thought Kyle Williams was going to get pole, and Daniel Zaitsev has embarrassed me by shooting up there with a 32-1 to get pole position, about 0.3 ahead of Carl Williams. So on the front row, we have Daniel Zaitsev, Carl Williams in the McLaren and the Porsche. We have an all-Porsche second row with Bagshaw and Jarno. Jarno are tipped to have quite a good race pace today. He has done a lot of practice here, so I look for, just keep an eye on him. If he gets through that first lap unscathed, I think he'll have some good race pace. Joe Knows in the highest sort of Ginetta in the class is alongside Messi in 6th place. We have Wet Wipe and Gary the Goat, who are making out a all-Porsche 4th row, with Stein in the Mercedes and Fast Forward in the Chevrolet making up the top 10. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different manufacturers in the top 10, which is quite interesting. We have an all Aston Martin 6th row with Fuchs and Diabolic. And then behind that we have Mark Music in the Porsche and Tad Green in the Ginetta, making up 13th and 14th. Levi is in the next Mercedes in 15th, Hushed Web in 16th, Gorilla Radio and the Seapel in an all Porsche 9th row, and then Cowboys and JME. Actually, looks like JME has gone into he's starting from the pit lane. Probably a wise idea there. He will have to wait for all the drivers, I believe, to go up Eau Rouge before he can come out. But yeah, he was starting 20th, but he has decided to start from the pit, so he may have come back from a dashboard. We'll check that in a second. Farrell is 21st place in the other Mercedes, and Salient G is in the 420 Aston Martin in 22nd place. 23rd goes to Arnie, and Saedo in the Alpine. So that is an all-Alpine row. I don't know what row number that is, but it's 23rd and 24th. Taya Manon is the only KTM driver of today, and he is currently in 25th place. Now, I believe he had an accident out there, so he was one of the drivers between Saedo and MRC and Funky Krusty Man that didn't actually set her time. MRC in the only BMW in the field, the 86 BMW, he is 26th, and Funky Krusty Man is 27th. Yeah, we just have a couple of corners to go now, guys, so I was just taking a quick drink there before we start this hour. So yeah, just to go back there, we say, yeah, so Dylan is saying rookies is 7:30. Yeah, so unfortunately on the Wednesday, then if I am going to be streaming, it will be for the, I say unfortunately, it's still going to be good fun, but I will be doing the bronze category at 9:30. Tony is saying good luck to all and enjoy. Tony, it is an open pit window. So we will have, yeah, you can literally pit whatever you want. So I'm sure there will be one car at least having a little crash on the first, you know, probably up Eau Rouge. I'm just predicting a little crash up Eau Rouge. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, if you do have a crash and you manage to get around at some point, you can then count that as your pit stop. It is an open pit lane. Yes, Dylan, to answer your next question, this is a rookies only race. That is correct. Yeah, so the GT4 class today is all the drivers rated on the XCL under 1999 and below. Frank is saying Jarno's dad can't race because we only have one Xbox. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, so Narf has given up his place in this amazing race today to let Jarno have a go. And yeah, and Tony Doc is saying that he hopes there's going to be a clean race up Eau Rouge. So do I. I really do hope that. And yeah, Pilchi is just saying hello. Hello, Pilchi. I know you were coming to see the 60-car race, but unfortunately we have learnt today that the max capacity of a server on Xbox, I believe with G Portal, is 43 drivers. So yeah, we are just riding with these guys today, and I'm sure we're going to have a really interesting race between Zaitsev and Carl Williams here. They had some rapid pace out there in qualifying, so we're just coming up to the line now. I will run with the leaders up Eau Rouge, but and I'll try and call some of the carnage, but yeah, this is going to be quite an interesting race. Thank you for joining me for the hour, and green light, go, go, go. We do have a drive-through penalty straight away for Stein, who, as Carl Williams goes side by side with Zaitsev here, is he going to give him some space? They get round cleanly. I don't think we'll see any collisions just yet. There's no yellow flags on the line so far, so far so good as everyone heads up, and yeah, it looks like Carl Williams has got ahead of Zaitsev, and there's another Porsche on the left-hand side. That might be Jarno's Porsche. He's coming down the left-hand side, but I can't remember if he was more of the yellowy colour, but I think that is Jarno making his way up to potentially third place, but I need to wait for the first timing split in order for the yeah, it ought to sort of, as you see at the minute, it just goes all over the place until we get around that first timing screen. But at the minute, it looks like Carl Williams is out in front. He did take the outside line around Eau Rouge, but it's as you were, and I don't think we have any single driver out there that's had a crash on the first couple of corners, and that is got to be an XCL or any kind of race record. It is nice and clean out there, as I will run with the leaders. Like I said, I always do run with the leaders for the first lap, because it is the honour of being the first driver to lead the first lap. And then once I've done that, I'll go through all the rest of the drivers, and yeah, I'll show you what's going on. That if you look on the track map on the right hand side, there is that one car, the number 1, that is far back, but he opted to start from the pit lane, or he might have dashboarded, so that's the reason why he's a bit further back. But I have never seen such a clean start. These guys are meant to be the rookie drivers, and they are displaying fantastic ability out there so far. Yeah, so I was right. So Jarno has made his way past Bagshaw into the third place position, and he is 0.1 behind Zaitsev. I did say Jarno would have fantastic race pace. Like I said, he's a great lad, and I had the opportunity to practice with him for a couple of hours at the weekend, and I know he does have good race pace, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in this race. As it is still as you were. We haven't had one car come off yet, and I'm getting a bit worried here because maybe the server's crashed and everyone's just on autopilot at the minute. But yeah, Carl Williams is coming down the little final chicane now to take the first lap lead, and then we'll have a look around the field and see what else is going on. But yeah, fantastic driving by everyone for lap 1. And I love it when all the cars are through here now, because that means we're going to have a really, really good race. Yeah, so Carl Williams takes lap 1 lead. Zaitsev is in second place, but I'm going to stay here quickly because he is trying to attack around the outside. I don't know if he's going to try and do a cutback here, but yeah, I will have a look in a second, but this is yeah, and Stein, who did get the drive-through penalty for being out of position at the start, is taking his drive-through early. Jarno is, yeah, tucked in behind this little battle as well, so these guys at the front are, yeah, pulling away slightly from the rest of the field, but there will be some field spread as we go. But look at that shot there. That was fantastic. Yeah, Bagshaw is in 4th place, so it's as you were, 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, other than Carl Williams and Zaitsev taking places there. But Jarno is getting really racy here. As actually, look at the Janetta of Joe Knows, I think that was, is going... oh no, it's under fire. It's actually Messi alongside Gary the Goat, as he dives down the inside there, and I think Messi has either defended to 7th place or he's past 7th place there. Fast forward in the Chevy's looking a bit racy now as well, as he tries to dive down the inside there. I don't think you can take a corner 3 wide, guys, but the rookies are teaching me, no, this is how we drive out here. We're super aggressive, and yeah, super clean racing so far. There is a yellow flag out there, though, for the number 15 car. Looks like Hush Webb has had a bit of a collision, and I don't know who the other car's out there. Looks like maybe Tearman in the KTM. And JME, no, he is the guy that was, yeah, so it looks like potentially we've had Hush Webb and Tearman collide there, but yeah, that's unfortunate. That is the first collision of the day. So Jarno and, so Zaitsev is 0.2 behind Williams. Jarno 0.1 behind him. And it looks like Bagshaw in this little battle here has closed the gap. This first, second, third, fourth. And even Wet Wipe creeping in there in 5th place. This is going to be exciting because all of those drivers are all tucked in with each other. Because these cars are so slow, I think the slipstream is just going to pull everyone along. So if you can just work with the guys ahead of you, you can sort of like really kick on as a group. Yeah, so Messi has, he must have passed Gary the Goat, and he has now sort of pulled that little gap over him. So Gary the Goat, they have, they're both driving in the Porsche cars. Fast Forward, after that aggressive manoeuvre, has sort of fall back a little bit in 9th place, as Fuchs is now right behind Fast Forward. And I'll just ride this one for a second, see if he's going to try some sort of overtake down into the last chicane. No, they are... These rookies are really showing everyone this is how you should do it. Diabolic is currently 11th place. He's 1.1 seconds behind Fuchs, with Levi behind him 1.1 seconds back. So these guys are just finding their rhythm now, and I think you'll start to see a bit of field spread as everyone starts to find their natural position and the natural race pace. Gorilla Radio is about 1 second off the back of Levi. Gorilla, I had the privilege of watching in the double sprint race in Kota. He is a fantastic driver, and I do think he will just keep moving up the field if he can get that good kind of race pace in there. I'm just going to stay with him for a second, actually, as he does close the gap on Levi as they go up Eau Rouge. He is in the slipstream here. If he can get a good exit around Eau Rouge, he will have an opportunity to attack. But at the minute, he might not be that close. No, I don't think he's going to make a move now. But we do say this, Tad Green is on the back of Cowboys, and he might, in that Ginetta, he might have a look and see if he can get past. We'll just see if he'll make a move down the bottom here. But these guys are being hugely respectful. Maybe they just know that they're on stream and they're all going to get a bit of airtime, so they're all trying to turn their best. Now, Funky Krusty Man and MRC, they were two drivers that didn't actually set a qualifying time, and they're currently 16th and 17th on the grid. So I'll be interested to see how these two guys get on throughout the race. Because they might start to move up the order, because they were down in like 25th, 26th. So they made up some great places early on in this race. So MRC, like I said, is behind Krusty Man, and they're both, I think they made up about 10 places or so each. Farrell is about 3 seconds back on MRC currently. Like I said, he will start to just, now he's got a bit of clean air ahead of him, potentially start to get in some good lap times. As you see there is a bit of a gap forming between the number 86 car of MRC and Farrell in 77. So this could be where they all start to spread out a little bit. You see that field spread we were talking about. Saedo, who was another guy that didn't actually put a qualifying lap in, is 19th place, and rounding out the top 20 is Salient G, 1.7 seconds back on Saedo. We have JME 2K7 in the Chevy, 6 seconds back, so he must have been caught up in a little bit of... Oh, no, sorry, JME was the guy that decided to pit at the start. So, yeah, he is just making his way up through the field. So he would have started 27th. We have had one drop out. There was 27 drivers here. And, Arnie is just a nice, steady 22nd place. He's just going around about 8 seconds back. Termanon, who was involved in an accident, is racing with Hush Webb. So both these guys did collide with each other. I'll have to rely on Discord later on to tell me what happened there. And then Stein is the last driver, 21 seconds back. The reason why he's 21 seconds back is because he was out of position at the start, and he had to take a drive-through penalty for that. And the first guy out there, maybe this is a strategy, I don't know, but Mark Music has taken a pit stop on lap 2, and he's going to have to run that car, that fuel and those tyres all the way for the rest of the race. But you never know, Mark Music did have some pace in qualifying, so let's see how that... I'll watch that as it unfolds throughout the day. But let's go back to the front now. And whilst this has all been happening, there has been an accident, I believe, because I can't see Carl Williams. He's down in 9th place in the pits at the minute. Oh, no, maybe he has chose to pit. I don't know. But, yeah, at the minute, it is Danya Zaitsev in 1st place. Behind him is Jarno, 2005, 1.1 seconds back. But it looks like... let me just check Carl Williams' car. So, no, Carl Williams hasn't got any damage by the looks of it, so I think maybe that was just a tactic. Maybe he was pitting early to maybe get a bit of clean air, but I'll just see if he's going... This pit stop is so long, it's that's why Mark Music was like 51 seconds back. Yeah, so he's pitting now for his pit stop, but looking at his car, he didn't seem to have any kind of damage there, so I think that is tactics, so it'll be interesting to see how that one actually unfolds. But whilst this race is going on, let me just keep an eye on the chat. We have Smite and Tony both saying go Kyle, so we have a lot of fans for Kyle Williams at the minute. I think it is because he is a fellow South African. Smite is also South African, so I think he's just cheering for his compatriot. But yeah, it looks like he's, I think based on the damage of Kyle, so there was no damage on Kyle Williams, so I think that was a tactic, so he is going out there to maybe get a bit of clean air and pump in some fast laps. Dylan is asking if I'm streaming the GT3 Open Race on Thursday. I don't think I've got anything in my schedule yet for Thursday, Dylan. So potentially, yeah, I think I might be streaming that. But yeah, let's get back to the race now for a second. So Jarno is starting to fall back a little bit on Zaitsev. I would argue that maybe he is pushing a little bit too hard because he's probably just trying to keep up that pace of Zaitsev, who was pretty rapid in qualifying. As I look, that wet wipe is right behind Bagshaw now, and this is a position. This is a pass for position in third place. I will just stay with this because he's going to be pretty racy here. Is he going to try a dive down the inside? No, I don't know if he's going to maybe leave it for when he goes up Eau Rouge, but yeah, wet wipe is right behind the car of Bagshaw here, and that is well, I suppose it's a net fourth position because Kyle Williams does have to come back out. Kyle Williams has now pitted along with Tad Green, who has also pitted as well. So both these drivers have opted for early pit stops, and also Gary the Goat is in there as well. So I'm seeing a lot of the top drivers go in the pits early, so these guys must really fancy doing a long stint on heavy fuel, and unless they forgot to change their fuel back up because of the pit stop. But I don't know, I think it's more tactful. If you look at Kyle Williams on the track map now, he has got almost like well, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 corners of just clear air ahead of him. I mean, I appreciate Zaitsev has got that up as well. So I'm just looking at this now. Jarno has fall back to 3 seconds behind, and Bagshaw is all over the back of Jarno. So this is now a battle for net third, fourth and fifth. So this is the last podium place technically at the minute, and yeah, these 3 guys are looking really racy out there in the 3 Porsches. Messi is sat right behind Joe Nose, who has fallen back from the front bow. So Joe Nose is the best of the rest, shall we say, at the minute. He is 3.3 seconds back, and he has got Messi all over the back of him, 0.6 behind. Messi had that early overtake, and yeah, moved up to 7th place. And since then, obviously with the pit stops, he's moved himself up to 6th. But yeah, he might just try and sit in the back of Joe Nose's slipstream and see if he can you know, just keep maximising those lap times. And behind that we have Fast Forward in the only Chevrolet. No, so there's 2 Chevrolets today, sorry, and he is 8th place, and Fuchs is about 0.7 behind Fast Forward here. So as you see, we're starting to see some field spreads. If you look at the track map on the right hand side, the triangle car, which is just coming around the final sector now, is the leader, and then you see there's a nice big spread of cars. But yeah, Kyle Williams at the minute has got a lot of clear air, and he's going to be pumping in some good lap times, hopefully, to try and challenge Zaitsev near the end of the race. I don't know if Zaitsev likes to go longer in his stints, but we will find out a little later on. Diabolic has moved himself up to 9th place. I know he was P11 earlier, but it might well be because of those pit stops. I think at the minute we still have the 3 guys that have pitted, but also Funky Krusty Man has now decided to also make his stop early. Now, because these stops are happening around about 15 minutes in, and there was only 15 minutes of qualifying, I do wonder if some of these guys have accidentally forgotten to add their race fuel, but I don't know yet. I mean, if this was me, I would be racing for kind of halfway because of when me and Jarno were doing some... let's just go back to Jarno as we're talking about. Yeah, so me and Jarno were doing some practice here, and he... Yeah, when we were both racing around our stints, we realised that the tyre wear on these cars is awful. There's a massive drop off a cliff, so it may well be that you know, at least Jarno knows that. He's maybe looking after his tyres a little bit here, but he is under a lot of pressure, and yeah, he's holding off so far. The 2 cars behind him, so I do know he has a good race pace, and this is going to be a battle that's going to go on probably for most of the day with yeah, these all 3 Porsches all line astern here. Let's see what else is going on down the track. So Saedo is now 0.6 behind Farrell. Now Farrell is, like I said, he is the guy that's kind of broken away from the rest of the pack. He is 8 seconds down. We are starting to see some of that spread, but Saedo is tucked in behind at the minute. So let's see how they go up Eau Rouge. And is Saedo going to be able to get a run on Farrell coming down the straight now? But yeah, these cars aren't fantastic in the slipstream. But yeah, he is looking pretty close here. Is he going to tow that all the way down and try and make an overtake? He is coming out. It looks like he's thinking about it. Last of the late breakers here. It looks like that Mercedes was better on the brakes there, and he managed to get around, and Farron has held up the position for another lap. But in that little battle, they have lost now another second to the 12th place car ahead. So let's check on the so Carl Williams is currently leading the battle of the pit stoppers. He is 24 seconds back on Stein. I will keep an eye on that, but Mark Music would have pitted before Kyle, but he is somewhere back off of Kyle, about 4 or so corners. But Kyle technically at the minute is the net pit leader, so he is the driver out there that's leading all the guys that have currently made a pit stop. Now Funky Krusty Band and the MRC car, 86 car, were in a little battle with each other quite close on the circuit. So currently he is 26th place and MRC is in the pit. So I want to see in a minute how those two drivers come out. So actually the MRC car is coming out of the pit lane now. And Funky Krusty Man he's miles down on the other side of the track. So there might have been, I don't know if that's, maybe MRC has had a crash actually, because it looks like he is potentially now, they were close together and now they're really far apart. So one of these guys has probably had a little bit of an off. Gary the Go is currently the last place car out there. He is 3 laps down, so I don't know again if he's had a little bit of a crash, but if he has, I don't know how he could be 3 laps down unless he's joined because of a dashboarding incident. And so that's the only thing I can think of there, because I don't think any of these guys are driving that slowly. Everyone's been driving quite well today. Let's just go back up to the battle at the top. So Daniel Zaitsev is still leading this race. Like I said, he is technically racing against Kyle Williams, who is currently 22nd and the leader of all of the cars that have pitted. Jarno has just really struggled to keep up with the pace of Zaitsev. So it looks like, Daniel's just in a race of his own at the minute. Other than with Kyle, but at the minute out on the track, he is racing along. He's just picking up that. He's got the fast lap of the race. He's just found a really good groove. And Jarno at the minute is just, to be fair, he's for about 4 or 5 laps now. He's just held off the advances of Bagshaw and Wet Wipe. So these 3 guys here are racing probably sort of equal pace. And this, like I said, this battle is probably going to go on for the whole of the hour. But what I will be interested to see is when they do decide to pit, and I predict Jarno will probably go in, based off of our conversations, probably dead on the 30 minutes or just before. So, it'd be interesting to see what kind of fuel Bagshaw and Wet Wipe have got, whether they need to pit earlier, pit later, and whether they get caught up in any traffic. Because they're so close, every single second counts. Messi is still, Messi is in 5th place now. He has passed Joe Nose. As I said, Joe Nose just goes a little bit sideways, so I don't know if he's already burnt out those tyres. But in that battle, Messi has passed Joe Nose, and Joe Nose now has Fast Forward behind him, and then Fuchs only 0.4 behind him. So again, we have another 4-car battle going on here. There's some really good battles going on down the field, but this one we can just stay with for a little bit. So Messi was, he's slowly been moving up the positions, but I'll keep an eye on his time as opposed to, Joe Nose goes out wide, and so does the Chevy of Fast Forward as well. So he must have followed that line in, and Diabolic is going to get right up on the side of Fast Forward here. He's going to dive down the inside, and Fast Forward is going to lose 2 places in the space of 1 corner. But I think he must have followed Joe Nose line there. Messi has managed to break away by 1 point. Actually, Fuchs has gone down the inside here, and he has also made the pass. So Joe Nose and Fast Forward have both lost places there, as Joe Nose is looking to battle back. This is side-by-side stuff, but he has got the outside line based on the twitching tyres of Joe Nose there. He is a controller racer, but he's dived out. That was a fantastic bit of late braking there, and it was a very sporting of Fuchs. They're going to go side-by-side now for the next corner. I'm going to ride this one for a minute because this is quite close. He has got the outside line again, but he might be able to get a better run off the corner for the going down to Eau Rouge. Is he going to try the cut back? So he's going to run. Where is Joe Nose gone? Has he gone off wide? It looks like Fuchs has got past. So Joe Nose is overdriving that car slightly at the minute. It does look like the way his wheels are twitching side to side, he is in a controller player, which is something I did for many, many months or even years on on ACC. But yeah, that was a fantastic bit of battling there by those two guys. And during that little battle between those two, Messi has managed to eke that gap out to 3.6 seconds. Fast Forward did manage to survive the attack from Diabolic, who is now, yeah, I said 0.4 behind. But yeah, that was fantastic stuff there. So let's have a look and see how Kyle Williams is getting on. He is now 18 seconds off of 20th place. He has been very lucky, like I said, with the clean air. He's still got about 3 or 4 corners, so 2 corners now ahead of him, where he is being able to sort of drive uncontested. And I don't know, let's have a look at Zaitsev at the minute. I think he's hit that gap out to 6.1 seconds now, but he is also, he's just passed the back marker. So every time you have to pass the back marker, that is slightly slowing you down. So if you think about it, Zaitsev has had to now pass about, I think, 2 or 3 back markers, whereas Kyle Williams has just managed to just drive in clean air that entire time. If you look at on the track map, Kyle Williams is down, just going around the first corner up towards Eau Rouge, and he has got so much space ahead of him, whereas Zaitsev has had to navigate some back markers. Jarno has slightly pulled a gap now on Bagshaw and Wet Wipe, so I wonder if it's just a case of their tyres are starting to wear off a little bit now, and some people are struggling more than others. Yeah, Messi unfortunately is 7 seconds back from this battle, so I think we will see. There's kind of 2 battles going on. Well, the battle for the there's more than 2 battles going on, but there's a battle for the lead between Zaitsev and Williams. Jarno, Bagshaw, and Wet Wiper in this battle for the last podium spot at the minute. Messi, Fuchs, Joe Knows, Fast Forward, Diabolic, they're all in a nice little battle for the remaining sort of top 10 places. Levi is 4 seconds back on his race of his own at the minute. And then Cowboys is, he's currently got, I don't know if that's that must be a back marker that he's just passed there, because his nearest rival on the track is 3 seconds back. JMA 2K7, he's having quite a solid race, because like I said, he did start from the pit lane. He had to work his way back all the way up to the cars that had already decided not to start from the pit lane. So obviously he had that probably about 20-25 second gap that he had to catch up, and since then he's passed a few cars and he's moved his way up to 13th place. So he still has to pit obviously, but it'll be interesting to see how his race starts to unfold. He has got some good pace today. Farrell is just tucked in behind him, about 1 second back. And then Salient G is in a race currently with Arne. Well, we'll just ride with this one for a second. Yeah, so Arne and Salient G are currently in 15th and 16th. And it looks like, actually, just whilst we're looking at this, yeah, no one else has decided to pit yet. So those early drivers, I am wondering if they just did forget to put the race fuel in, because they all did pit roughly around the same sort of time. And I'm wondering if that was just because they had their quali fuel in. But yes, but Arne is now, just about, it says 0.2 here, but I think it's a little bit further back. He is, as they go up Eau Rouge here, I don't know if he's going to be close enough to make the to make that pass, but I'll run with him for 1 second. Yeah, this battle may take a little bit longer here, but we'll just have a look and see how Hushweb is here. So Hushweb is 18 seconds back from Saedo. Now, the reason why he is 18 seconds back is because he had an early race collision with Teamanon, and they're both unfortunately paying the price for that. Stein, who was in the middle of that battle, 3 seconds back. The reason why he's there is because he did have a penalty at the start of the race because he failed to be in the correct start location, which is such an annoying penalty. Whilst this is all happening, Carl Williams has closed that gap to 10 seconds now. So, he's really, really racy out there. But I'm just going to ride back with Bagshaw as he's just closed that gap on Jarno. Let's just take a check-in second with the chat here. So yeah, Dylan saying he's racing in that Thursday night race. So yeah, Dylan, I look forward to having a look at and see what you can do. What is your so I'm just looking, sorry, Bagshaw, I'll come back to you in a second. Looks like Bagshaw may have just tapped the back of Jarno there, and he did he gave him a bit of an angry flash. So I don't know if Bagshaw drove into the back of Jarno, I don't know if that's Jarno's fault, but he didn't seem too happy about it. But Dylan, what is your gamer tag? Let me know, and I will look out for you on Thursday if I am streaming that race. Smite is saying, why would Kyle have pitted so early? Strategy? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Smite. So there's 2 things that could happen. One is that Kyle completely forgot to change his fuel load from qualifying, because obviously you have to change your fuel load back for the race, which, to be honest, I don't think Kyle is the kind of racer that would forget to do that. So I'm going to give him a credit credit where credit's due. So I think he was stuck in a little battle with Zaitsev, and I think maybe he just thought to himself, if I pit early, I'll just have nice clean air. I won't have to look in the mirrors behind me, and I can just keep pumping in good lap after good lap after good lap. So I think, if I'm honest, Smite, it was tactics. But what I would also add, though, is that by Carl Williams pitting early and Zaitsev not, what might happen, though, is when Zaitsev does come out, maybe in the next 5, 10, 15 minutes and pits, he will have much fresher tyres. So if they do somehow, after all of this half an hour of racing, join back up on the track, at that point, I'd maybe back Zaitsev to win the race, because he will have a very much faster car, because the tyre wear on these GT4 cars isn't great. I'm sure Carl Williams is good at managing that tyre wear, but I think that it'll potentially be that Zaitsev may have the upper hand now, but who knows? I'm just a commentator. I don't know much about this. Smarty is saying that Kyle is making up roughly 2 seconds a lap. Yeah, well, that time you can see on Kyle's timing screen here. It's not 2 seconds over the leader. That is 2 seconds over the car ahead of him. So he is slowly making his way up to that KTM. And I think this will be Kyle's first back marker, but first vehicle that is slower than him on the track. Now, they are racing for position, so Taya Manon will have no obligation to get out of the way of Carl Williams, and this is where it is going to start to fall back into the hands of Zaitsev, because Zaitsev doesn't have any cars around him, and now Kyle is starting to catch up with the pack ahead of him, and because, like I said, these aren't blue flag cars, they can race him all the way around the corners, and this is where accidents can happen, potentially... potentially he's going to get held up on some of the corners, because it's not easy to pass someone that isn't getting out of your way because of a blue flag. So, when they're being a bit more racy, it's a little bit harder. So we'll stay with Carl Williams for a second as he does catch up with Termanon in that KTM car. Which does look oddly strange, but it does look completely different to the rest of them. And let's see if he can quickly get past this first driver. Sometimes, if I was Termanon right now and I've been observing the race as it unfolds, and I'd been keeping an eye on that lap time, and I'd have been seeing that Kyle is catching up really, really fast. If I was Termanon, I'd probably just move out of the way anyway, because I think to myself, it's not worth battling with this guy, because I'm trying to chase down Stein and Hushweb ahead. Yeah, there you go. As I said that, so Termanon was... A nod to you, Termanon. You are well aware that is a fantastic bit of driving. He may well have just gone wide there, I don't know. But if he is aware and he has seen how fast Carl Williams was passing up, just get out of the way. Like, it's only going to ruin your race battling someone that's on a different pace to you. So that's a fantastic idea by Termanon. That's exactly what I'd have done. As this is happening, Stein has caught up with Hushed Webb, and I will observe the fact that there are a few guys out there that are now about to pit. So, but I'll ride with Stein for a second. He is all over the back of Hushed Webb. He is, was unfortunate with that drive-through penalty at the start of the race, and he has slowly moved his way back up the field, but. He's just right in behind there. I think he will make a pass as we go up Eau Rouge, but I'll just ride with this one for a second. So tyres in... so Smite's asked the question if Carl Williams will be able to finish. Now, most tyres, even in the real world, if you're talking about real GT racing, most tyres will last 60 to 90 minutes, probably, 2 hours if you really want to push it. But even when you watch like Le Mans and things like that, and all the World GT series and the big endurance races, most cars pit every hour, every 90 minutes. So he can comfortably finish this race in the hour with the tyres he's got. But like I said, they will be shot to bits a little bit by the end. And if Zaitsev does... he's chosen to take the outside line here. So Stein is going side by side with Hush Webb here. Is he going to the brake late? The Mercedes seems so good on the brakes. And that is a nice overtake there. Let's have a look and see what's happening at the front whilst we're doing this. So whilst this has been happening, I have to apologise. Jarno has lost the position to Backshaw, but I don't think this is by no means over, and those two guys will race all the way to the end. But just to finish what I was saying, Smart, that there will be a massive drop-off in tyre wear, because if you think about it, Jarno tried a late break there, but it failed, and he will have to try that one again. Oh no, he spins out! And luckily for him, Wet White behind him has opted to go in the pits at the same time, but that is unfortunate for Jarno, and he is going to fall, I think, probably net out of the podium there, so he's going to have to really, to be fair, with 31 minutes and 50 seconds left, I would predict this is probably going to be Jarno's last lap before he pits. But there is drivers behind him now in Wet Wipe and Messi pitting. And yeah, this will be interesting to see now, because these guys, okay, were net 5th and 6th on the track. So what I want to be seeing though is Kyle Williams, who is currently 18th place, going to pass those cars before they come out of the pit lane? Because if they don't, if he doesn't, sorry, that means that yeah, that strategy of going in early hasn't worked for him. But it may also be that he did have those. Yes, they're just coming around to. They haven't actually started their pit stops yet, but it might mean that he did have damage, because that was the other thing, Smite, as well. I didn't know if he potentially had damage, but if you look at Wet Wipe now, he was net 4th in the race. He hasn't even reached his pit box yet. And where is Carl Williams currently? Carl Williams is driving down the back end of the track, and he is starting to come down to the last corner now. So I am thinking with Wet Wipe just stopping now, that is going to be, because you have to do a tyre change, and for anyone that knows this, the tyre change in ACC is a minimum of 30 seconds. So whatever you do, whether you're going to refuel or whatever, if you're changing your tyres, it is a mandatory tyre change. That is 30 seconds. So I'm just going to ride with Carl Williams here. Yeah, so Carl Williams is coming down to the first hairpin now. Yeah, so as you can see, Carl Williams is passing Wet Wipe in a second, who hasn't even started moving yet. And yeah, Wet Wipe was net 4th in this race. So that does mean that currently Carl Williams is now net 4th. So this is, yeah, he has got some good pace out there. Jarno is, I'm just having a look now, he's 4.2 seconds back on Bagshaw. Now, I'm going to stay with Jarno for a second, because I do think he did say to me, and well, I can't really give away a strategy on the stream now, but I do think he is going to go in around about that 30-second mark, sorry, on the 30-minute mark, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does dive in the pits this lap. Let's have a look at Bagshaw ahead of him, because Bagshaw is racing against Wet Wipe. So you can see Wet Wipe has come out of the pits by the looks of it behind Carl Williams. So yeah, that means, because I think they only had a lead about 6 seconds over the over Zaitsev. This is going to be close when Zaitsev does finally decide to pit. He's 12 seconds back there. So Bagshaw, yeah, Bagshaw has pitted. Oh, Jarno's going out again. So there you go, folks. I know nothing about ACC, because I thought Jarno, was going to pit then and just stay, because the split the strategy 30 minutes, but he is going longer, which actually might mean that Bagshaw's pace was relative to the fuel load he had in. So who knows? Maybe he's changed his ideas here, and he's going to go for like a 45-minute stint and a quick stint at the end. But Jarno is now currently second place, 18 seconds back from Zaitsev, who has also, like I said, not opted to pit yet, but he is starting to now come up to back markers. We've got quite a few drivers in the pits now with Bagshaw. He's still driving down to his pit box. Fuchs is still coming around and driving down to his pit box. Fastfall has just entered the first section of the pit lane. Just to answer this, if anyone's curious, is that Spa has two, because obviously how big the track is, and they do like Le Mans and things here. Not Le Mans, sorry. They do endurance racing here. They do have a big pit lane which can host, I think, about 80 cars or so. So you have to drive through one pit lane, come around the hairpin, and then drive down into a second pit lane, and then that's when you stop. So the pit stop time here is probably well in excess of a minute, probably a minute and a half, and that's why you can see cars on the other side of the track catch up in their time. So Arne Olfsson has opted not to pit yet, along with Saedo and the other Alpine driver. Maybe they've got some sort of tactics here, but yeah, he has moved himself up into 10th place currently, but yeah, that will change obviously when they all come in the pit. So as I said, the current pit leader is Carl Williams, who's currently in 13th place, and he is about to pass all the guys going up to Eau Rouge. And yes, all the guys that had pitted in front of him are now all going to be behind him. So you'll be curious where's Wet Wipe now. So Wet Wipe is coming round the hairpin, and he was racing against Bagshaw. And Bagshaw is coming. Oh, this is going to be tight. So Bagshaw is, you can see in the distance there, that is his rival coming around now. But it looks like Bagshaw has managed to get ahead of Wet Wipe, who is, he's just coming up. There you go. So that's how close it is, guys. So after those pit stops, it is as you were for those two. But that's what I'm interested in seeing, is when Zaitsev decides to pit, how close is he going to be to Carl Williams? But yeah, Williams will be happy now that, as you see, he has moved up now to 6th place with only 5 cars ahead of him deciding not to pit. This is going to get tight, guys. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but yeah, it looks like the MCR decided not to race Williams there. But as we say this, it looks like Cowboys has got a drive-through penalty. Now, that won't be for speeding in the pit lane. That will be for track limit warnings. So he has picked up 4 track limit warnings. And that is meaning he's going to have to now go through the pits again. And the pits is so long here. It's disastrous for anyone that gets a drive-through penalty, because you're going to lose easily probably half a minute to a minute just driving through the pit lane. Okay, so Jarno is in the pits, as well as Joe Knows. So what I'm interested in seeing now is how Jarno goes up against, Joe Knows, not Joe Knows, how he goes up against his 2 main rivals, Bagshaw and Wet Wipe. They are currently on the back end of the circuit, but like I said, Jarno has still got to go down. He's just gone around the hairpin, and he's now going to sort of slightly into the box. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how he gets on. Olfsson is now decided to pit as well, and Saedo, is he going to pit as well, being the last driver to pit? No, so Saedo is going for the long stint. Everyone else has pitted now, apart from Gary the Goat, but yeah, I think he dashboarded earlier on in the race, so he's probably going to try and go long here. But yeah, it's all starting to fall back into order. So there will be guys that have been out there for a lot longer on their tyres than others. And the man to watch is, like I said, Kyle Williams, who he's now 11 seconds off of 5th place. But I'm going to keep an eye on this one, because he is coming around the hairpin now, as Jarno is still stationary in the pit lane. Bagshaw is 12 seconds back from Williams. He's coming down to the hairpin now. So is Jarno going to be leaving? You want to be leaving the pit box soon? Oh, he drops down. So this is going to be close. So I'm going to stay with Jarno for a second. He is, his 2 rivals are coming down and up Eau Rouge, so this is going to be tight. So as he comes around, you can see there is Bagshaw and Wet Wipe now. They're going to be going flat out up Eau Rouge. So as Jarno comes out, he has, by the looks of it, managed to get ahead of Bagshaw, but this is going to be tight as they come out of the pit lane. There they are. So Jarno, has managed to overcut his 2 rivals, Bagshaw and Wet Wipe, and get himself back up into what is the net 3rd place in this race. Fantastic bit of driving by Jarno there. Considering he also spun out as well, he's probably gained about 5 seconds on those guys. But yeah, he is going to have to wait a lap or so for those tyres to warm up. So I will ride with Bagshaw currently, because he is going to have his tyres nice and warm. He is going to be all over the back of Jarno, and I don't know if he will try and be aggressive on that first lap, because he will take Jarno a lap or 2 to get those tyres up to temperature. Okay, but I will have to, I'm sorry guys, I will have to just peel off this for a second, because the big news of the day is the current race leader, Daniil Zaitsev, has pitted. Now this is the one we've all been waiting for, guys, because Kyle Williams, I said he's on the back end of the circuit, but we know that isn't too much of a concern, because Zaitsev does have to come around. He hasn't even decided, hasn't even got to his pit box yet, but he will have to stop for a minimum of 30 seconds. I'm just going to look at Saedo, who has decided to pit. I don't want him to get in the way of this battle, but yeah. Let's have a look and see when Zaitsev does finally stop in his box. So we have 30 seconds from now. So yeah, Kyle Williams has come around the back end of the circuit. I don't know if he's actually going to get out in front of Zaitsev here. So it looks like Zaitsev has got some pace. If Zaitsev gets out ahead of Williams, I think that'll probably be the race done and dusted, unless Zaitsev makes a mistake. Because like I said, Williams has been on these tyres now for over half an hour, and Zaitsev will have a nice fresh set on. Let's just go back quickly to Bagshaw whilst this unfolds. He is 0.3 behind Jarno. Jarno's tyres will starting to get warm now, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bagshaw is going to make a dive down the inside. No, he has tried it, but they're side by side. Are they going to touch? It doesn't look like it, but this is not over yet. He's got a better drive out, so those tyres will be performing just slightly better. Jarno will be thinking, come on, warm up tyres. But I think in the second lap now he will have good temperatures that he can be racing with them, but it takes, I think, 2 full laps for those tyres to get up to the full operating window. Bagshaw is right behind Jarno here, and there may well be an overtake. As I look at this now, so it looks like Zaitsev has, you can see Williams in the distance there, so Zaitsev has pitted and come back out and is now in front of Williams by about 10 seconds or so. So it looks like 7 seconds, sorry. So it's Yeah, that's unfortunate for Williams, but he is going to now have to chase down Zaitsev, and he's going to have to do it on, much more worn tyres. So Bagshaw is diving down the inside of Jarno here. Is he going to make that pass stick? No, he doesn't. Jarno is driving for his life at the minute, but his tyres should be up to temperature now, but Bagshaw is looking pretty racy. And I said to you folks, didn't I, that this battle between Jarno, Bagshaw and Wet White would go all the way, and it is. Let's just keep an eye on Williams now. So yeah, Williams is chasing down Zaitsev. It does look like he's about 6.5 seconds back. So it may well be, like I said, that Zaitsev, with those fresher tyres, will start to extend that gap. It's unfortunate for Williams. Like I said, I don't know if it was strategy or whatever, but yeah, it's going to be a tough ask for him now to pull that back. But you never know. Let's wait and see what happens. Bagshaw is still here behind Jarno in that 5th place spot. But whilst these battles are unfolding, let's have a look and see how the rest of the order unfolds after those pit stops. So Messi is up to that 7th place. He has got a 3.4. He's 3.4 seconds behind Wet Wipe. So it looks like he is in a battle of his own at the minute for that 7th place spot. And Fuchs is 3.9 seconds back from Messi. Fast Forward is now 7.6 seconds back, again in his race of his own here for 9th place, and he's been chased down by Diabolic about 2.6 seconds back, and that is for the sort of round out the top 10. Actually here Joe Knows is looking pretty racy on Diabolic, so we'll just stay with this one for a second as he does dive down the inside. And does he take that place? No, they're side by side again, and it looks like very respectful by those two. I mean, it's a very hard corner there to go two side by side there, but this is going to go all the way down to the final hairpin. Look at this. This is fantastic racing. This is for, like I said, the final 10th place spot. As Joe Knows decides to tuck back in and get a bit of slipstream down to the last chicane. But this will be for the last position to round out the top 10. Although, to be fair, Saedo does just pitted, so actually this will be for 9th and 10th. My apologies there. We'll just ride this one for a second. Yeah, Joe Knows is hustling the back of Diabolic here in the 999 black Aston Martin. Is he going to try and make a move down to Eau Rouge? So they're going to go around the hairpin now. Does he get a good drive out? It looks like he gets a little bit wide there, and it might be enough for Diabolic to get away in that position. So we'll keep an eye on that one about as it unfolds. So Levi is currently in 12th place. Now he is 11 seconds back. Now he will pass Saedo for that 11th place spot, but he is in like I said, another race of his own. There's if you look at the track map on the right hand side, there's a lot of field spread here, so all the drivers are kind of just doing their own thing in a minute. Mark Music, who did pit on lap 2, I believe, is made it up to 13th place. That's fantastic pace there as he starts to chase down Levi. We'll keep an eye on that one. JMA 2K7, who started in the pit lane, is 5 seconds back in 14th place. The C-Pull is 3 seconds back from him in 15th, and then Farrell 22 seconds back. Now he is 22 seconds back because he did have that drive-through penalty at the start, so that may well be that is as high as he's going to get up the order today. He has got Arne Olufsen behind him, and this is looking a bit racy here, so we'll just stay with this one for a second. Arne is he's had a bit of a steady race, to be fair. He's been quite consistent. He's just sort of battled along. I think he was in the 20th places, and now he is back up to 17th. We'll just ride with this one, see if he does get a move down to this right-hander. No, they're being respectful there, and he is going to wait to see if he can put him under pressure and try that another day. Saedo, after the pit stop, has come out in 17th place. Well, actually, there will be 18th now because it looks like Salient G has just got past him in the 420 Aston Martin, but Saedo will have much stronger tyres. It does look like he's got damage there as well, actually, so I wonder if he opted not to repair that, or whether he's had that since he's come out of the pits. He'll have to chase down Salient G with those fresher tyres. Stein, Acrobat, he is 2.2 seconds. Oh no, so actually, I said earlier about Farrell having that drive-through penalty. He doesn't actually. It was Stein that had the drive-through penalty, so apologies for that. Gorilla Radio rounds out the top 20. He is 1.5 seconds back on Stein. Hushed Webb is 12 seconds back on Gorilla. So again, he is just looks like he's on a race of his own there, because he's 12 seconds behind Gorilla Radio, and Cowboys is 15 seconds back from him. So Hushed Webb will just be hoping that there's a few little accidents throughout the rest of the track, so he can obviously capitalise and maybe get a few more places up on the grid. Funky Krusty Man is pitting again for a second time. I don't know if that's fuel related or whether that's maybe a bit of damage. It doesn't look like he has damage on the car there. Terminone will capitalise probably from that and make his way up to 23rd place, as you see there. Gary the Goat is the only driver that hasn't pitted yet, and he's also 25th on the grid. Now, I think he is 25th because I think he dashboarded by the looks of things, because he did have a good qualifying time, so I don't think he's there by raw pace. And MRC is the last driver out there in 26th place. Does look like we've had 1 or 2 dropouts today, so he has made up 2 places, but yeah, he is the last driver which is currently out there. Let's go back to the front then, guys, and Bagshaw is still chasing down Yano. It looks like he has just passed Yano for position, so whilst that we might have missed that by about 2 corners, but Yano has lost that place to Bagshaw, which is actually the legitimate podium now for 3rd place. So Yano will have to chase down Bagshaw if he wants to get that place back, and yeah, finish in the top 3. Williams is still chasing down Zaitsev, but like I said, he has got much about 30-minute older tyres than Zaitsev, so I do think that gap has increased considerably. What will be interesting though is if Yano and Bagshaw can chase down Williams with those fresher tyres. Let's just check in on the chat. So Tony is saying that Narf is, Narf, who is Yano's dad, was probably a good choice in giving Yano the Xbox, because he is doing his father proud, and he is having a fantastic race for a potential podium on his debut. Now, there are a few debut drivers out there, so I do have to apologise. I did get given a list, and I will try and get those for you now quickly. So I'm just going to come off the stream chat for a second and see if I can find that list, so we can do some mentions with the new drivers. So let's have a look. So bear in 1 second, guys. I'll get this list of new drivers. So there are some. So one of the drivers to mention, as we said, is Yano. This is his XCL debut. Oh, as he just gets a bit racy with Bagshaw here, so he might actually get that place back. They're going to go up to Orouge. He is in the slipstream here, but Yano, this is his XCL debut. So if he could get a podium on his debut, he would be matching the current race leader, Zaitsev, as one of the drivers to get a podium on his debut, as along with Carl Williams, who also won his debut race. So this is quite a good all-star cast at the front here. We'll go through some of the other drivers here. So one of the other drivers to say welcome to XCL is Stein Acrobat. So he was unfortunate, like I said, with that drive-through penalty at the start. But Stein is on his XCL debut, and he is currently riding in 19th place. It looks like he's just made a pass on Sayadu there, and he's made his way up, and Salen actually, sorry. So he has made his way up to 17th place. There's a bit of a race going on here. Also racing in their first ever race for XCL today is JME 2K7. So he is again on his debut, so welcome. And he's having a good race. So he did opt to start in the pits, but he is up to 13th place. He's 4.8 seconds back from Mark Music. So let's see how that goes on. And as he chases him down, who knows, maybe we'll get another place up there on his first race with us. There was another guy called Insane Thrower. I don't think he is out there today, so he must have opted not to race. We also have at the back, who's unfortunately has pitted twice, and now he's got to go back in the pits again because he has sped in the pit lane, is Funky Krusty Man, and he unfortunately has had his debut race has gone from bad to worse, contrasting to how Yano's has gone, battling up for the front. But he just goes sideways there, but manages to save it. And who else do we have? So this is exciting. I'm just going to leave you all in anticipation here. But did you know who... I wonder if any of you guys can guess who the other debut racer is of the day. And if you have guessed Bagshaw, you would be right. So actually, Yano and Bagshaw are both rookie drivers, and they're on their debuts, and they're racing for the last podium spot. So this is really interesting, like I said, because Zaitsev did race, I think Friday or Saturday, and he got a podium on his debut. Carl Williams raced the following day, and he also got a podium on his debut. Now, Bagshaw and Jarno are both racing on their debuts, and they both have an opportunity to get a podium here. So this is going to be quite a tasty battle, because one of these guys is going to continue the tradition of being a rookie driver who does get a podium on their debut. So I'm not going to be biased here and say who I hope gets it, but yeah, these two drivers are going to have to really push out for the last 11 minutes. They've left Wet White behind, about 3 seconds back, but yeah, this battle's going to go all the way to the end, and I'm excited to see who gets that final podium spot. So here we go then. Carl Williams was about 6 seconds back. He is now almost 20 seconds back. So you can see there that is purely down to tyre wear. As we know, Carl Williams is a very, very fast driver. Zaitsev opted to pit early. Zaitsev opted to extend his stint, and it is paying dividends now, because he is probably lapping about 1 to 2 laps faster than Carl Williams. And we know obviously Williams isn't two seconds a lap slower. That is purely down to tyre wear, and yeah, that is an unfortunate strategy on Carl Williams' part. It could have been to do with damage as well, I don't know, but yeah, he is going to struggle to claw that back, and I think the only way he's going to win today is if Zaitsev has a crash. But let's just do a little check in on the rest of the field. Funky Crusty Man in 26th place has opted to do his stop and go 30 penalty. That is so painful. It's basically another pit stop. So Funky Crusty Man has done 3 pit stops today. So that is it's an unlucky debut, but sometimes that's the way it goes. You just have to take it on the chin and try better next time. Not try better, but just have better luck next time. I don't want to kick the man whilst he's down. Gary the Goat has then he's been battling hard. He's just, like I said, he's just unfortunate. I think he did dashboard, but because of those 3 pit stops by Funky Crusty Man, he has now made it up to 25th place, and he is chasing down MRC about 11 seconds back. So yeah, MRC is the next driver up there. He is currently in 24th place. He is 2 laps down on the leaders, and he is chasing down Terminon. I don't know roughly where Terminon is on I'm looking at the track map now. It looks like he might be he's some way. I think he's almost a lap ahead, Terminon. So I think that is pretty much a comfortable 23rd place for Terminon as he chases down Cowboys. And again, I think Cowboys might be he's about half a lap ahead. So MRC and Terminon, they're almost in races of their own. Because Cowboys is on the other side of the track at the minute in the 22nd spot. He is chasing down Hushed Webb. Now, with these field splits, like I said, Hushed Webb is to be fair, Hushed Webb is only about 3 or 4 corners ahead. So Cowboys can chase down he's 17 seconds back on Hushed Webb. So that's a tall order, but you never know. With 9 minutes to go, a few mistakes could happen. Hushed Webb in 21st place is chasing down Salient G. He is 6.9 seconds back now, and he could, if he has a few good laps, get that final 20th place spot, as Salient G and Saedo do have a little battle here. We'll have a look at that one in a second. But yeah, Hushed Webb has had a good, apart from that little crash, could have been much further up the grid, but it's unfortunate. But him and Terminon collided quite early on, and that has cost him a bit. But he is racing 6.9 seconds back from Salient G. Who is, like I said, he is chasing down Saedo. They're having a bit of a race here. Saedo did pit later on. He had quite a long stint, which means he will have those fresher tyres. And it might be quite hard for Saedo to chase him down. As who is Saedo racing with here? It looks like he's just is he past Gorilla Radio? That is a pass for position potentially, or is he a lap down? I'm just going to keep an eye on that one. It looks like maybe Gorilla Radio has made a mistake, and Saedo has now got past. I don't think he'd be a lap down, but we'll just keep an eye on that as they cross the line. Funky Crusty Man, as we say this, has got another stop and go 30 penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is 4 pit stops, 2 penalties, 1 pit stop for damage or maybe not enough fuel. So just to confirm there, Saedo has got past Gorilla Radio for 18th place. But yeah, that is such an unfortunate race for Funky Crusty Man. But he will be back with a vengeance, I'm sure. So Stein Acrobat is currently in 17th place. He's 11 seconds back from Farrell. I'm sure he will continue to chase him down for the last 7 minutes and 34 seconds. And then Farrell, like I said, is 7 seconds back from Arne, who is currently holding the last spot in 15th place. Arne is 28 seconds back from the Seapool, so this may well be where he ends up. His main concentration will be on can he outpace Farrell, who is 7.2 seconds back with 7 minutes to go. He just needs to make sure he doesn't lose more than a second a lap on him, and then that will be a nice 15th place for him there. Oh no! So we'll go back to the Seapool in a minute, but Jarno has got a drive-through penalty for track infringements. So that means he's for 4 laps. He has, oh not for 4 laps, sorry, 4 times this race. He has gone over the limits. That's probably around Eau Rouge, but that has ruined any chance Jarno had of finishing in the podium. But actually, Carl Williams must have made a mistake as well, because he's got damage on the front of that car and Bagshaw has passed him. So that is so unfortunate for Jarno, because he would have actually made, obviously because of how close he was to Bagshaw, that would have been Bagshaw and Jarno both getting penalties on their debut. Oh, Jarno is going to be gutted when he finds out that, Carl Williams has made a mistake and he's 3 seconds back on Bagshaw now. Oh, I'm so disappointed for the lad, but yeah, I'm sure he will have better days in the future, but yeah, that is going to ruin his race. So we'll go back to the Seapool now. He is, in 14th place. He's got a big lead over Arne, so like I said, he is just focusing now if he can see if he can get any more places up. I think what I'm just keeping an eye on is where's Jarno now? He's coming down there now, and the Seapool in 14th place is coming across to pass him. So Jarno is going to lose so many places here as he comes out. They're going to be side by side here, are they? I'm just keeping an eye on this one. Yeah, so Jarno comes back out in what will be 14th place. That is so gutting for him. He was up there in 3rd or 4th, and he's now down to 14th. Oh, no! Oh, I can't keep up with this, guys. Jarno has speeded in the pit lane during his drive-through penalty, so he's now going to have to go back into the pits and stop for 30 seconds. So Jarno's day has gone from bad to worse. For about 50 minutes of this race, he was absolutely on fire, challenging for a podium place, and yeah, that is just so unfortunate for the lad. He is now going to be probably well out of the top 20. JME 2K7 is 2.9 seconds back on Mark Music for 11th place. These guys are slowly making those places up. So because of that Jarno penalty, they have moved up to 11th and 12th. And Mark Music, also ahead of him, is only 3.6 seconds off of Levi for that last 10th place spot. If Mark Music, after pitting on lap 2, could make it up to 10th, that would be a fantastic effort by the lad. So we'll watch that one as it unfolds. Yeah, Levi, like I said, is currently holding the last place in 10th. He is 13 seconds back on 9th. So I think this battle between Levi and Mark Music, oh, he goes wide. And yeah, we can see Mark Music in the background. So Mark will be swallowing blood and seeing if he can get that last place. Diabolic is in 9th. He is 1.9 seconds behind Joe Nose. You can see Joe Nose in the distance there. This is for 9th and 8th place. And I think I'm just going to see where he is in relation to Fast Forward. Oh no, Levi gets a drive-through penalty. That will be for track infringements. That means that Mark Music is going to have pitted on the 1st or 2nd lap, I think it was. He is going to have battled it back from last on the grid all the way up to a top 10 finish. That is a fantastic drive by Mark Music, and I think he'll be absolutely chuffed to bits with that. He just needs to make sure he keeps on the track. There's obviously a few more drive-through penalties coming in as these drivers, 60 minutes around Spa, and you're only allowed a maximum of four penalties. So, yeah, it's a very tough ask. As I just want to make sure Jarno and Levi don't get any more stop-and-go penalties. That would be so unfortunate. As you see there, Mark Music has now made it into a top 10. So he's going to be absolutely chuffed with that. I think he's disappeared into the track there. Diabolic is in 9th place, like I said. Joe Nose is 4 seconds back from Fast Forward, who is 12 seconds back from Fooch. So it is as you were for these guys here. Yeah, I think it's just a case of all they've got to do now for the last 3 minutes is just not make any mistakes. As it looks like, we have MRC here, been a bit racy and trying to unlap himself on the Chevrolet in front of him. But he couldn't get past on that particular instance. Messi is 3 seconds back from Wet Wipe, so he is starting to close down that 4th place driver of Wet Wipe, who with 2 minutes 30 to go should have enough in his locker to hold it and maintain. But I said he did actually pit, like I said, around about the normal time you would, around about the 30-minute mark, so he is chasing down Kyle Williams. So it will be interesting to see if Kyle can hold that last podium spot. It isn't over for Wet Wipe, he does need to keep pushing on there. Kyle, is looks like he's going to have to settle for 3rd place. So I think he is demonstrating a perfect example of you cannot take that tyre for 50 minutes in this race. Well, I say Mark Music is showing that you can. But, yeah, Bagshaw now half a minute behind Zaitsev, who's just had an absolute dominant performance out there. And I will give him a bit of screen time on his last lap in a minute. But where is Zaitsev, actually? Zaitsev is coming around the back of the track. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the last lap here, because he's done about half a lap, and it is I think when he comes round, oh no, I think it upsets me to say this, guys, so I'm going to get really upset now, but well, not upset, but you know what I mean. But yeah, Jarno has got a 3rd stop and go 30 penalty, so he has gone in the pits. Well, no, so he had to go through the pits for a drive-through penalty. Whilst entering the pits, he has given himself a stop and go 30 penalty. He has gone in, he has served that penalty, but while serving that penalty, he has then sped in the pits again and given himself a 3rd penalty. So he has gone from what was a podium contention race all the way down to what will probably be one of the final positions on the track. That is so unfortunate for the guy. I tipped him to be one of the podium finishers today, and it hasn't worked out for him, but sometimes that is racing. Just goes to show you how much you have to practice those pit stops. I'm sure Narf, if he is watching, will be disappointed. Oh, let's see what battles. Okay, I just want to run with Zaitsev for a second now. So there's 36 seconds left. So this may well be the last lap of the race. I don't know if they're going to give him an extra race, but with 30 seconds to go, he may well end the race right now, and this could be his first XCL win, and I'm sure he's going to be absolutely chuffed to bits in the rookie class. Yeah, racing. Actually, with 17 seconds to go, is he going to trigger one more lap, or is he going to slow down and just trigger the end of the race? I think he's going to give us one more lap of this. Yeah, he's going to cross the lap with 5 seconds to go. Yeah, there you go. So this is it. This is the final lap of the race, guys. Bagshaw, I said he's got to just hold off Kyle Williams for one more lap. I'm going to see if there's any battles going out there that potentially might be for position. It looks like, yeah, Farrell is only 0.8 behind Stein for 14th. 13th and 14th, the battle of the Mercedes. This would actually be the, oh no, she's, yeah, Levi's behind as well. Yeah, so this is Farrell chasing down Stein for the top Mercedes spot in the race. Just a shout out to some of the drivers actually whilst we're on our last lap here. So the leading McLaren driver is obviously also the leader of the race. Bagshaw is the leader of the Porsche drivers in 2nd place. The best Aston Martin out there at the minute is Fuchs, who is in 6th place in the number 97 Aston Martin. Fast Forward, who is the best of the Chevys, is out there just behind him in 7th place. Joe Knows in the leading Ginetta is out there in 8th. Arne, who's in 12th currently, is the leading Alpine driver out there. Stein in 13th is the leading Mercedes driver. And I think, like I said, we have one KTM driver out there in Teo Manon, who is currently going around in 22nd place. And then we have, yeah, the only BMW driver of the day is MRC, and he is riding in 25th, 9 seconds down from Gary the Goat. So let's just ride with Daniel now. He has got about half a lap left, and he is now, like I said, chasing down the, well, not chasing down, sorry, but he's just running the last sort of half of this race. He has had a great race. He did lose the number 1 position from Williams in that opening part of the race. Williams then opted to pit in the 2nd or 3rd lap. Now that was probably down to, we think, either damage or maybe the wrong fuel load. But yeah, hopefully Williams will be able to clear that up after the race. But yeah, Zaitsev has ran a good race. He just stayed out in front. He just kept pumping the laps. He pulled that gap to the guys finishing in 2nd and 3rd. And because of that, yeah, he will now yeah, cross the line, and he will have a dominant victory over half a minute ahead of his nearest rival in Bagshaw. We'll be pleased to know that Jarno has cleared his third stop-and-go penalty. Oh no, Wet Wiper's in the pits now. I wonder if he ran out of fuel with... that's unfortunate for him. He ran out of fuel with 1 lap to go. And yeah, Zaitsev crosses the line, and he is our XCL GT4 race winner. And yeah, I think he'll be absolutely buzzing with that. Bagshaw, like I said, he is half a minute behind. We've got a few guys crossing the line now. So Saedo does cross the line in 17th place. Salient in 18th place. Hushweb in 19th. Well, look at these guys here. Yeah, so these guys have finished 17th, 18th, and 19th on the grid. Bagshaw is coming around now. The last couple of corners. The number 14 car of Cowboys in 20th. He has finished the line now. So Bagshaw takes his debut rookie podium on his first race with XCL. He'll be buzzing with that. Carl Williams takes a 3rd place finish after an interesting strategy call there. And I think, again, he'll be happy with another podium. I'm sure he'll take that. Messi is coming across now, and he'll take a nice 4th place because it looks like, I said, Wet White ran out of fuel on the last lap. Fuchs is then going to cross the line in 5th. He was only 2.4 behind in the end. Fast Forward is coming down the last couple of corners now. He has got Joe Nose just behind him, so this was a racy little finish here. But yeah, it looks like Fast Forward is going to take that 6th place finish behind Joe Nose in 7th. Diabolic is coming around now, and he's going to take a lovely 8th place. I think it was 9th. I think maybe one person's quit here. JME is coming around now, and he will take 9th, followed by Seipel, who is about 8 seconds back in 10th place. So he'll round up the top 10. So well done, JME, in your debut race, a 9th place finish. The Seipel will take 10th place. Well done. Arne Olfsson is coming round now. He is being chased down by Stein, who is one of the debut racers today. So I think he'll be happy with a 12th place finish. So we'll just ride with Arne now as he comes around the last few corners of the track. He is actually Tehrmanon is just ahead of him here, and he'll take 22nd. Funky Crusty Man does finish 25th and last for the other rookie driver. It's an unfortunate race for him today. Arne is going to take 11th place, followed by the other rookie in Stein in 12th. Farrell is going to finish in 13th place. I'm sure he'll be happy with that race there. And then just behind him is Gorilla Radio, who will take 14th. And then Levi behind him will take the final 15th spot. And then, like I said, Wet Wipe will finish 16th. I think he just ran out of fuel there. So, yeah, that is fantastic racing, guys. That was an awesome race there. There was lots of battling. It was really, really... I can hear lots of crashing on my screen. I don't know what that is. But, that was a great race by Zaitsev to take the win. 32 seconds over Bagshaw, who gets a rookie... it's the fireworks. Sorry, I can see in the background. Yeah, Bagshaw finishes in second, 32 seconds back on a rookie podium on his debut. And then Carl Williams, 3.8 seconds back, takes that 3rd place finish. Thank you all for joining. I see Levi saying there. I don't know if it's... was he not unhappy about that result there? And I think Smite is right. It's good, clean racing overall. That was awesome to watch, and thank you all for joining me, and thank you all for chatting to me throughout that race. I'm sure we'll be back again tomorrow. Well, we're back most days this week, other than Sunday, with XCL, and hopefully see you all again soon. Don't forget to, one last mention is to go over to the Dick Trickle Network, and if you can, check out the GT3 race, because they were also racing today on a separate server. So if you want to see something interesting, go over there and take a look at that. But thank you all, and see you again soon.